He does whatever it takes, much to the delight of the readers and the
We try.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We sure appreciate everyone that's here in the chambers and all those who are out watching in TV land. It's an exciting first council meeting of the new year, so it'll be great. So I've asked Bill Beck to give us our little motivation talk and the prayer. So, Bill, come right up there. Oh no, right here. Right here, right there. See this nice little deal with the mic? There.
You mean I have to
Well,
look
there's
at you
7 million
too?
people watching you.
Well, so much for the motivational talk because I didn't prepare one. Just happy to be here and grateful for you guys and for what you do. And I've always been grateful to live in this community. I'm surprised Steve asked me to maybe give the opening prayer. I'm actually a resident of the county, my wife and I, even though my wife's Steve's little sister. But you know, I've never thought of it that way. I've always thought I'm part of Spanish Fork, and anytime our youth have the opportunity to participate or plant flowers, I think it's great because we have a lot of pride for this area and for this community, so grateful to be part of it. Our Father in heaven, as we convene this evening for City Council meeting, we give Thee thanks for the opportunity we have to be here. We're grateful for this situation that allows us to come together in freedom and peace. As we embark upon a new year, we ask for Thy blessings, and we also ponder to look back at this past year for the many blessings and the bounties and the good things that we have enjoyed and been able to participate in. As we are here for the City Council agenda, we pray that Thy hand and blessing will be part of this, that those who will be sworn in and take the oath, that they can do so in a manner pleasing unto Thee. We're grateful for our council and for the mayor and for their talents and expertises and personalities, that as they give leadership, that they can continue to guide us and lead this city to greater heights. We're grateful for the citizens of this community, and we pray that we may live in a manner that we may continue to enjoy the freedoms and the peace and prosperities that we do have. And these blessings and favors we ask of Thee at this time, and we do so humbly in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Bill. I've asked Councilman Argyle to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and be seated.
Okay, I guess the next item on the agenda is the oath of office. So we have a few people here that has to get sworn in. Kent, come on up. Tell us what you want us to do.
It's the city recorder. I'll swear in the newly elected officials. If you'll come over here. If you get your spouses, so you can come up with this. Ready to put your right hand in the air. Remember, you'll be putting your right hand in the air. You ready? Raise your right hand and repeat each line with me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state,
and the Constitution of the state,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mike.
All right. Okay. I guess we're all legal now, so that makes it good stuff. Okay. Next item of business is public comment. So anyone from the public that'd like to come up and address the mayor and the council, you're sure welcome. Seeing none, we'll move on to council comments. Councilman Beck.
I do not have anything. But since I'm no longer over the chamber, I just want to make sure Brandon takes care of Heather.
Oh,
Brandon, do you have this taken care of?
Stacy?
Thank you.
Of course.
Ask him how many meetings he's missed already.
Brandon.
Pawn shop, see?
all right. Councilmember Scobes.
Mayor, the only thing I have is we have a Veterans Council meeting tomorrow that I'll be attending, and we'll be reporting on our next meeting. That's all I have.
All right. Councilman Mendenhall.
Thank you, Mayor. Thankful to start another year. Thankful to be sworn in to another term. And all my family's here. I'll hurry and say thanks to them for it's a group effort, and everyone on the council knows it. But thanks to my brother and their families, mom and dad, and in-laws that help out with the kids a whole lot, and Amber that take care of stuff and allow us to do this. It's a good thing. Nash, thank you too, buddy. I wanted to say thank you to the department heads of the city too. Our city manager sent out an email to the mayor and council a week ago talking about the newsworthy items that happened in the city the last year, and I couldn't believe the list was that long. It really kind of shocked me into remembrance of what 2017 has been for our city, and it's a credit to the good Mayor Leifson and the good department heads that run the city. I'm just impressed. You guys do a good job. You do it in a fishbowl, and anybody that cares to notices that you do it with a purpose more than just a job. So it was a fun year. 2018 is supposed to be good too, right, Mayor?
You betcha.
Speed up. The Active and Healthy movement had an exciting year as well. It's got an exciting year ahead. With MVP Sports was a local business that is giving away $25 in a gift card today as soon as we choose a winner tonight for people that shared their New Year's resolutions with the Active and Healthy group. So we'll award that later tonight. Also in January we'll have some QPR trainings that deal with mental health that the city's offering. So like CPR, you've heard it before, question, persuade, and refer to help mental health within the city. We're offering it, but offering it also to local businesses. So we're coming to a chamber luncheon this month and going to propose it to businesses, and hope everybody takes advantage of that. That's a resource that's paid for, that's free, that we do have a grant for. And so if anybody through these tough few months that we have here of cold and inversions and weather that seem to be tough to live in Utah County and tough to get out sometimes, I just implore everybody to reach out. If you don't have anywhere else to reach out to the city. We can help you get in touch with the right places to take care of your mental health, which is just as important as your physical health. Other than that, Mayor, the League of Cities and Towns has a board meeting next Monday, and I guess I'm going to an airport board meeting as well that Brandon informed me about, so I'll report on those next time, but that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Councilman Gordon.
Mayor Leifson, I would like to yield some time to Heather Youd from the chamber. If that's okay with Stacy.
Yep, you're doing good, Brandon.
Thank you.
You're doing good.
You're down on the other end. You are glutton for punishment now.
All right, I just have a few things. Our January business of the month is Stone Drug. So we don't have a date yet for when we're doing that, but we'll get that out as soon as we know. The new networking is on the 17th, which is when we are actually going to have someone from the city presenting about QPR. That will be held at the Justice Center. We have our board retreat for our board members on January 18th. That will be held here in the city offices. And our installation banquet is actually going to be in Salem this year. It's at the new ALC Peak Center, and that one's at 6:30. And let's see, on the 24th, we have 5 new board members that are starting this month. So Amy Lynn Gardner-Jones from Berkshire Hathaway, Cameron Hoyt from Clegg Auto, Heather Hone from Utah Valley Animal Rescue, Mike Van Dyke from Spanish Fork Chiropractic and Accident Rehab, and Nicole Hammond from ServPro. And then returning again to serve again are Aaron Stern with My Sister's Closet, Brenda Lydiard from Circle V Meat, and Matt Harrison from MLH Heating and Cooling. And Carrie Malkovich with Mikkel Christiansen and Wise will be our new vice president for 2018. So, and that's all I have. Okay.
Thank you, Heather. I'm sure she's really thrilled about her new council person rep that she has to work with this year. And clearly she didn't want to spend a lot of time talking about how excited she was about not having to work with Stacy any longer. You can imagine how excited she is, right, Mayor?
Well, yeah, because she gets donuts now.
I'm just kidding,
We got
Stacy.
donuts last year.
She's really sad.
I
know
bet.
she's sad. I wanted to just let Chris Thompson maybe relay a message to Jamie Chappell. I was informed that about eight years ago he came to City Council before my time. Was it 8 years ago?
Yep.
With a plan for our roads, and every road in Spanish Fork has been touched since his plan was implemented. Having a wife from Pleasant Grove, we don't visit the in-laws anymore because their roads are so terrible. We can't afford the maintenance on our cars because the front ends are blown out every time we go over to see them. So that's the reason we don't go see the in-laws in Pleasant Grove. Their roads are terrible. I'll just say it. I've said it publicly, but I'm telling you, our roads here in Spanish Fork are awesome. So to him, I know he's, falls under your, so if you'll pass that on to him and his crew, having some road background. I may have been a little critical when I first came on as a councilman of that program, but can see that it's been very beneficial for our city, and we're very lucky to have what they're doing. And so I just wanted to give that props to that group of all of those individuals. I don't know if they have any women on the crew, but all those women and men. I don't blame them. So, okay, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Great. Councilman Argal.
I don't have anything at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, just a couple things I have. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. New Year's Eve, my sweet wife and I, we went through the lights again just to finish up the year. And I'll tell you what, every time I go through that, it's amazing. Everybody says, well, why don't you do something like these guys? And why don't you do something like that? But then when you go through our festival lights, I'll tell you what, hands down, it's the best value and the best lights in the state. And so thank you to all those who spend all the time putting those up, and it's pretty awesome. I, too, want to thank my family for being here, my sweet 91-plus mother, year-old mother here. Get out here and weather the cold just to come and see this. And the thing she says she hasn't heard one person say a bad thing about me, but I don't think anybody would tell my mom a bad thing about me, so yeah, there you go. Yeah, she's my inspiration, keeps me going. I appreciate that, and I appreciate all my family and my favorite brother-in-law since he came. Since he's my only brother-in-law there, so that's...
You don't have to say that.
Oh, I didn't have to say that.
You didn't have to say how old your mom was, and you didn't have to say...
Oh, no, when you get to that point, you want to know. Everybody wants to know how old
We
you are.
all know how sweet Ruth is.
Yeah, so, thank you. Just one other quick thing. This last week, we had our South County Mayor's meeting. We've been doing this for a long time, and just so everyone knows, we had a big turnover of mayors. More than half of the Utah County mayors are new, and so we're trying to get them all started out right and doing what we need to do. And this is very valuable for our city because we can work together as a body and make sure people realize that there is life after Provo this way. And so we band together, and it's a good thing. Okay. Let's move on. Consent items.
Motion to approve the consent items.
Got a motion by Councilman Gordon, a
Second.
second by Councilman Mendenhall. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, public hearing. Contract for selling surplus land to Canyon Creek Commercial Center.
Thank you, Mayor. Maybe before I jump into that, I'd like to comment a little bit further on your comment about the South County mayors, but that has been very beneficial to the county, and I have the opportunity to associate with a lot of our North County counterparts. They're very jealous of that organization, the ability that we have to work together. They don't have that in the north part of the county, so kudos to Mayor Layson for being instrumental in keeping that going. State law says before we sell any property of substantial value that we have to hold a public hearing. The law allows the city to define what substantial value is, and our ordinance defines it as value that's $100,000 or more. We do have a piece of property that we are selling to Canyon Creek Commercial Center. It's next to the new theater that is valued at over that. So to give you a little bit of background, you're probably familiar, we're in the process now of buying some property from SAPA to extend a road through on the east end of their property, the west end of the theater, and that will, it's really critical for the traffic flow in that area that street go through. As we buy that street, there's some property left over between the street and the theater. If we were to condemn the property, we would pay severance damages on that, or we pay its value for making it unusable. Rather than deal with that, we just offered to buy that from SAPA, but we don't need it. But it does have value to Canyon Creek Commercial Center, and so it has no value to SAPA. So we are selling that property, that excess property, to Canyon Creek Commercial Center. And I understand that they'll expand the parking lot for the theater, and they also have one or two pads, business pads, that they will use that for. And so since this is valued at over $100,000, we do need to have a public hearing to convey that property. Questions for me before we get to public comment? Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thanks, Junior. I'd entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilmember Beck, a second by Councilman Scobes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're in public hearing. Anyone that'd like to come and talk about this particular item, you're welcome to come forward. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Mendenhall, a second by Councilman Gordon. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any questions, comments? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the Canyon Creek Commercial Center real estate purchase and reimbursement.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilmember Beck, a second by Councilman Mendenhall. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. All right, Parkway Professional Plaza sales agreement.
Okay, so this is in the same posture. Years ago, as we were preparing for the Canyon Creek Commercial Center to come and preparing for a future hospital, we bought property for a road. Because of some wetlands issues, we had to go back and realign that road a little bit. We had to buy some more property. And we now have a road there. It's the Canyon, or the Spanish Fork Parkway. It goes from Highway 51 down near the Walmart area. As a result of the sales there, again, rather than deal with severance damages, we just bought the excess property that was there. And from 3 different owners, we've accumulated approximately 7 acres. So each of them didn't have a lot, but they each had a little bit. That property, again, is valued at over $100,000. We need to hold a public hearing to sell that. We're planning to sell that. We put an RFP out to various developers with their proposals, and the Spanish Fork Parkway Professional Plaza is a group controlled by Chris Child, who has made a proposal that was presented to the council some time ago. We now have that agreement together. We will sell that 7 acres in 5 different segments, as he plans a commercial development along there. And this is some nice looking brick office buildings. And we anticipate with the hospital having announced that they're going to build here in Spanish Fork, and they intend to, as I understand it, start sometime this year, but most of these will probably be medical offices. Some of you are familiar with the project that Chris did over in Springville with some very nice looking office buildings. These will look very similar to those. So that's the concept. This contract allows us to sell that property at its current market value. And I might add, because many years ago we bought that property, the value is appreciated. We're going to be making some profit on this sale. But for the market value, this will start in 5 different segments. So it's a structured buyout. As he gets one building built, then he'll move on to the next phase. So questions about this one?
Can you explain how, as those phases take place, the pricing?
Yeah, the price is based on the corner piece has a higher value, so there's 2 appraisals. We got appraisals on the property, and we're selling it at appraised value. The corner piece, I think, has an appraisal value of $4.67 per square foot. The rest of it is going for, I'm trying to stretch my memory here, but it was on a per acre basis. It was somewhere around 70,000 to 80,000 per acre. We're breaking that down per square foot because of the nature of how Chris is splitting it up and buying it in segments. And that works out to, I don't know, somewhere around $3 and something per square foot. So you should have that in the contract with your agenda there. So that's how the price is based. And the corner piece had a higher value. So there's actually our 2 appraisals.
Okay, thanks you. I'd entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
Motion to go into public hearing.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Mendenhall, a second by Councilman Gordon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're in public hearing. Anyone that'd like to come up and talk about this property, you're welcome. Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Gordon, a second by Councilman Scobes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any questions or comments on this proposal? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the Parkway Professional Plaza sales agreement.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Mendenhall, a second by Councilman Argal. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Ordinance 01-18, abandoning an easement in the Legacy Farm Plat 1A development.
The Legacy Farms project is a large residential subdivision that is proceeding on the north side of 400 North at 2550 East, and then proceeding westward from there. As the developer's gone along, there's the large regional sewer line that comes down from Mapleton that is a little bit north of where this is. You can see there. So they come to Plat 1A in the project. They needed to put a sewer line through a future phase. What you see in yellow is a phase that, in order to reach the sewer, came through what is now becoming in their next phase some lots. It wasn't feasible at the time because of irrigation and the early stages of the planning to put it where a future street might be, and so we went there. They're now ready to do that phase where you see the yellow, and we need to abandon that easement where you see the yellow. That's has a sewer line in it. And the new sewer line will follow the new streets. So for maintenance purposes, that's what we prefer. That's what they would prefer. In order to abandon these, we also need to hold a public hearing. So we're proposing to abandon what you see in yellow. And then before that is fully taken out of service, the new line will be in and be active so that nobody's out of any service up there. So any questions about that? Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to go into a public hearing.
So moved.
Got a motion by Councilman Scobes, a second by
Second.
Councilman Mendenhall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're in public hearing on this one. If the same people would like to come forward, you can. Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
So moved.
A motion by Councilmember Beck, a second by Councilman Scope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to,
Motion to approve ordinance 01-18, abandon an easement in the Legacy Farms Plat 1A development.
got a motion by Councilman Beck, a second,
Argyle. We're throwing you off,
They
aren't we?
switched sides on me, so I'm sorry. Councilman Argal. And a second by
Me.
Councilman
Second.
Beck. I knew I'd get both of them in there, so. This will be a roll call vote. Councilman Argal.
Aye.
Councilmember Beck.
Aye.
Councilman Gordon.
Aye.
Councilman Mendenhall.
Aye.
Councilman Scope.
Aye.
Okay, that is approved. Move on to new business. Automated metering reading, upgrade, and maintenance contract, Reader's Digest version.
All right, so about 10 years ago, we started automatic meter reading, which means a radio signal from each meter goes up to a tower that we have up above the reservoir, and then it sends it down to our billing office, and we have a billing clerk that can press a button and read all the meters in town. So that saved quite a bit in meter reading. We were an early adopter, and the only reason we became an early adopter is the company Census that basically sold that to us, gave it to us at cost, and it was really inexpensive. And we did not opt into an annual fee situation where we get all the upgrades to the software, and we haven't upgraded our hardware for these past 10 years, and have just milked it along with our really good IT SFCN department, which has a lot of expertise in milking something like that along. Well, now the system is just too old, and we have to upgrade it. My guys have been telling me that for a couple of years, but then Cindy, our billing clerk in Kent's office, finally called me down and said, we have to do it now. We're having too many errors. And so this is that cost. It's $160,000, and it will come with an annual fee. But it will have a lot more perks to it and be a lot better to work with. And the option is to go back to reading meters by hand. So it's not a good alternative.
Is the coverage still the same as what we had before? Remember, we could have done the whole county.
Yes, so that option is there if other cities kind of close by, maybe not the whole county, but a lot of the south end.
Yep.
I think most all of Provo could. So, yeah.
So, Chris, was this in this year's budget? Was
Yes.
this figured into it?
Yes, and this is actually a bit less than what we budgeted because we're able to negotiate out and only buy what we needed now and reserve some other costs for a grant that we're applying for some water conservation initiatives that we'd like to do.
Okay, thank you.
It's a little bit of a broken record, but way important that we got that done when we got it done. And other places that have secondary water systems aren't metered. They're just charged a base fee. But this is metered, and so we pay for what we use, and that's kind of important in the desert.
Yeah, the best water conservation program you can have is to
Definitely.
meter all your water. And we have a very good metering system, except for the automatic part. but we plan to upgrade that.
Good deal.
Thank you, Chris.
All right. I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the Census Automatic Meter Reading, AMI, upgrade and maintenance contract.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Gordon, a second by Councilman Scobes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Board appointments. We have two library board appointments we need to make. The first one is Nicole Hullwich, and the second is Suzanne Saxton. I'd recommend those. What?
Suzette.
Suzette, excuse me. Suzette Saxton. I'd like to recommend them for the library board.
I move to approve the mayor's appointments to the library board.
Second?
Okay, I've got a motion by Councilman Scobes, a second by Councilman Argal. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Fire Station Number 2 Committee discussion.
So we've been working to put together a committee to help with the initial selection of the architect company that will help us with the new fire station that hopefully will be built in the next couple of years. And on that committee, so I've talked with Chief Adams and then also with Mayor Leifson about recommendations as to who to have on that committee. We're proposing that Councilman Gordon be part of that, as well as a couple of retired fire chiefs. So Clyde Johnson, if you guys know Clyde Johnson that lives here in town, as well as Lynn Jones. And then also, in addition to that, we'll have our current fire chief, which is Brent Jarvis, and then Don Thomas, who's in charge of the ambulance, and then Chief Adams, myself, and then Jared Johnson, who knows the engineering side of things. So our city has a few employees on it, as well as some citizens here. Any feedback on that? Any? Are you guys okay with those that are on there? Anybody else that you recommend, or anything that you're wondering about?
Like everyone, a little iffy on the councilman, but I think we can get by with that.
The only reason they asked me is because they're doing a calendar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Needed someone to staple it.
Yeah. No, I think.
And someone's 91-year-old mom's getting the first one.
There you go, and she'd love it.
Yep.
Tyler, this station is going to have sleeping quarters, correct?
Yes.
That's what this committee would.
So we'll discuss.
That's part of it.
I mean, that's our thought, but that's one of the things the committee would look at.
Okay. Yeah, among other things, we'll do some site visits to look at some of the fire stations that are here in Utah. There's some new ones around the county that we're hoping to be able to go and see.
Not that this matters to the committee, because we have, even just up where I live, there's 10 firefighters up there that are full-time firefighters, AMTs, that kind of stuff, and work out of South Jordan and up north, and some of them fire stations that are full-time and sleep. So maybe some of them fire stations might be a good visit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, road trip.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
I think that's going to be a good committee. Yeah. Okay.
I move we go into closed session for reasonably imminent litigation and land transaction.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Gordon, a second by Councilmember Beck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Nice short meeting. Yeah, you guys did well today.
Almost a record.
Just for you, Mom.